Would you like to have another piece of cake, my darling birthday girl? Lucina opened her mouth, but all she managed to muster up was a petite belch. Palutena chuckled. She reached down and buried her hand deep into the multi-layered vanilla and coconut cream birthday cake sitting in front of her. The people in the other room just knocked, which means that we have to be quiet. I'm so fucking upset. Okay, I don't care. Where was it? She removed a large and mushy lump of cake. The thought of using utensils had already occurred to her early on, but she decided it wasn't worth the time or trouble. Lucina kept her cake as she could manage. As much cake as she could manage. Any bits of frosting or cake fluff that latched themselves onto Lucina's lips or cheeks were swiftly lapped up by the stuffed girl. Palutena drew her hand back on her own mouth and washed her fingers clean of frosting, a happy little smile dancing in her eyes all the while. The two of them were sitting on the floor of Lucina's bedroom within the Smash Castle. The Goddess of Light had been very generous to bring an entire cake to celebrate the younger woman's birthday. However, she had brought it with a stipulation that the two of them had to eat the entire thing themselves. With some time and a few psychoactive drugs, Lucina eventually started to see things in Palutena's way. Lucina leaned back into her pillows and started to caress her bloated stomach. That thing was packed tight. Her belly had grown several times its original size, the tightness of it already pushing the limits that her abdomen's skin could stretch. She had since abandoned her belt to a darkened corner of her room, because trying to wear it any longer would have caused serious amounts of discomfort. Lucina panted. She was trying to catch her breath, having stuffed herself to the point of exhaustion, yet she was still so hungry. Lucina yawned and gave her tummy a pat, eliciting another belch. She laid her head as far back into the pillow mound as she could go. The compulsion to keep feasting in spite of her fullness was one thing. More so, she felt relaxed. Far and far away, the most relaxed she had ever been in years. She grabbed some of the potato chips that were lying beside her and messily ate some of them. Salt, grease, and crumbs scattered all over her cherubic face. Her stomach creaked as the chewed up, dried, fried slices of spud slided down her throat. It slid. Lucina reached down and undid her skirt as well. Splaying? Is that a word? Spreading her legs only a few inches wider, the princess's great round stomach was gently lowered and down into the rugged floor. Her belly was literally so full that her belly button had somehow managed to pop out. Palutena wiped her hands down with a sanitary wipe before she began to shuffle over to Lucina's side. Deciding she wanted to keep her digits clean this time for what was coming next, Palutena grabbed a massive spoon with one hand, scooped some cake onto it, and fed Lucina again. At the same time, she used her other hand to glide her curious fingers over the ever-expanding surface of Lucina's belly. She did so with a feathery touch, so light that it went unnoticed by the other woman entirely. Lucina opened her mouth, causing her double chin to briefly reveal itself, and accepted the cake. She ate so diligently, and without question, without complaint. Palutena was rather glad about this. Everything went better than expected. She could tell from that slackened expression on Lucina's face that she was enjoying her birthday presents very, very much. Lucina suddenly coughed. She reached down and picked up a small, rolled object, like the pass-to that Palutena had given her. The way it was used was similar to smoking pipes she had used back home in Elise, but since it had such bizarre effects on her, she couldn't quite say what it was. The Goddess of Light had said that it would help make her feel good. Lucina wasn't sure if that was true. She wasn't sure of anything right now. Her mind felt like it was caught in some kind of mist. Not a bad mist, though. She wasn't concerned in the slightest bit. This thing is quite impressive, and the effect that it has... excuse me. It seems to make all my troubles melt away. Excuse me again. That's the idea, Palutena beamed. She touched Lucina's tummy again. There was a great amount of heat billowing off of her belly's surface. She was expending a lot of energy just to keep eating, as well as to keep digesting. Half of the birthday cake and a large assortment of snacks ranging from chips to mini pies had been devoured by Lucina already. Palutena had eaten much less than that. Her own tummy looked like a cute little ball hidden underneath her toga, but Lucina was large enough that she was being forced to remove her own clothes to avoid discomfort. Palutena smiled. She decided that Lucina would look so much better with another whole half of vanilla and coconut cream birthday cake shoved inside her gullet. Palutena reached for the spoon again. It makes me want keep eating more to Excuse me. Like I don't even care. Lucina wheezed out. She ate some candy sitting on the floor too. Her stomach gurgled contemptuously at the new additions to its packed contents. It was so large at this point that Lucina almost could not see over it unless she strained her neck properly. She felt too full to want to stand up anymore. It might only last a few hours, or it could last for the rest of the day. She had no idea. How about we get you some more yummy cake, Palutena suggested, and worry about these sort of things later, birthday girl. Suddenly, the bedroom door swung wide open. Robin waddled inside, not even hiding the fact that she was absolutely apocalyptic in her fury. She saw the half-eaten birthday cake. She saw Palutena holding the spoon. She saw her daughter, stuffed beyond measure and clearly out of her mind with eyes flushed red. She saw the bag of little smoking sticks lying within Lucina's reach. Robin finally rested her blazing hot gaze upon the goddess of light again. Palutena forced out a sheepish grin and offered an even more sheepish wave. Hello there, Robin. How are you doing?
I knew you would be here, especially when Lucina never came down for her birthday party we'd set up in surprise for her, Robin snarled.
Why did you think of me, of all people? Palutena asked.
Because.
Robin was not joking around today.
You're a creep.
That was when the obese mage really lost any semblance of that self-control over her temper that she still had. Jesus Christ. Robin withdrew the Levin sword and aimed its pointed tip at the goddess's face.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh wait, that was her. I'm going to kill you, he stated as bluntly and truthfully as anyone could possibly make such a grave statement. Why? Wait, no. Oh, it's girl Robin.
Yeah, it's a girl Robin.
Okay, so I'm going to kill you.
Why? Pray tell.
For not sharing any of the damn cake. Robin spat. And, wait, what's that smell, too?
Palutena silently took the bag of small sticks away from Lucina and hid it behind her. Lucina herself released a loud and guttural belch, one that shook the very walls that surrounded the three chubby women. It wasn't a bad start for her birthday, she had to admit that. She would have preferred getting to eat more cake right about now, though. Her stomach was making more room for her with every passing second. She didn't know what quite compelled her, or it could have been her own outrageous appetite, or that strange rod she smoked, but Lucina wanted to eat. And then it ends.
Oh.